Hey guys, and welcome back to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. Today, you want to stay tuned for this one. Very exciting news, or is it? New home sales are actually decreasing. Find out why. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter what time it is. Hope that you guys are having an amazing day. I'm with my awesome host, very talented host, Josh Zuniga. Today, we're going to be talking about why new home sales have actually declined most recently, and understanding what the problem is here. Is it actually a problem? Is it designed this way? Like, what is the issue here? Like, there's a couple different issues that are affecting new home sales. What are some of those issues?
Well, just as of last month, there was a representative for D.R. Horton specifically where they saw a 6% decrease just in home sales themselves. That's a big number. That's a really, really big number.
In what's historically the best sellers market in the history of a 4 billion year old world, right? Like we're in the best market ever. Why? Like, what are the reasons why?
What are the reasons? Well, even with this, obviously they have a 6% decrease, but they also had a 6% increase in their sales price, the median sales price. So, like, what's the difference going on there?
So wait, you're selling they're selling less homes, but they're making more money.
Exactly.
Okay.
And case in point, guys, I did business with a builder last November, and I paid $276 for a property. They are now starting at $350. I just saw one close, my same exact model, for $416.
It's insane.
Insane. Well, the reason why I jumped on it, because I was like, that's the best deal in town. I think they finally realized that, and they started jumping up the prices because it was astonishing, because I still had some sales in those community right after.
That's a 50% increase.
Yeah, but obviously now, like, what buyer is going to actually see that? I was like, you guys are just priced, $50,000 less a month ago, and now you're actually going to be at this point now. There's no way. I'm backing out.
Let's talk about why. Like, what are the reasons actually why? Like, number one, I think it's a supply chain problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so we saw the price of lumber really screwed up. And so what happened was a lot of the home builders said, hey, look, cost of labor is going up, cost of lumber is going up. Let's not start all these new homes until that pricing, the model slows down, or at least they can get ahead of it. Because what was happening is they would pull permits for a property, get a property under contract, and it was literally costing them more to build a property than they were selling it for, because the massive increase in labor and the massive increase in lumber. And so they were literally just not selling homes, right? They're like, we're going to wait it out. What's the number two problem on that thing, you think? Just being greedy?
Yep, that's always a big one. Everybody's going to, especially in this market, everybody's going to try and see if they can maximize their profit, maximize their dollar in their pocketbook, coming back into it. But just like we were even talking about in previous episodes, there was anywhere from like a 1% to 2% pullback from buyers in that market. And I think a lot of builders actually felt that and are starting to see how that actually changed, and what the kind of how dramatic that was within the actual market. So I think to stay, stay level with prices, they're going to pull back on production so they can maintain those high prices, or obviously, like you said, a 6% increase, because they're still going to be, stimulating the market. This is the demand, quote unquote, that we have.
They're not dumb.
Market.
They're going to work less and get paid more, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the consumer is always the demander in this thing, right? Like, the consumer is going to demand a product, and it's the home builder's obligation to fulfill that demand. And they're getting very creative. Home builders, they're not dumb. They're not dumb. Like, they know there's money out there, so they're going to pull back the supply a little bit, increase the demand, and then make up that gap in between the supply and demand as profit.
Yeah. The builders usually always have a pulse, on everything, and they're very smart and very strategic, and they make moves quick.
Yeah.
They make moves really, really quick, especially when they're knowing, what the market, and gauging exactly what the pulse is going to be, in the coming months and towards the end of the year. They're usually always ahead of the game, for us. But is that going to continue to change? Are we going to continue to see a down cycle, for buyers, and obviously production towards the increase, for new home sales? Who knows?
Yeah, my take on it is that, as the supply chains open back up and we have, lumber actually come back down, we have labor, kind of the market for labor is stupid right now. As that normalizes, quote unquote, normalizes, and builders can actually, predict what the price of the actual unit is going to cost, they're going to be taking more risk and making more spec homes. They're going to be making more homes, and pricing them accordingly. And so I think really for the second half of 2021, we should see that accelerate again as things kind of normalize. And so, I think it's just a quick downturn, a little market correction, as those indicators kind of showed us.
Yeah, and going back to one of the previous episodes we had, guys, are buyers going to see some relief in the sales market? Absolutely. Are they going to see it in the new builds market? They're starting to show signs of it. So if you guys are looking to actually be getting into a new build, those are always good options. Make sure you guys get pre-qualified, get set up on those lists. Some of them are lotteries. Some of them, they just go down and they decide to choose your name, but you have to make sure you're pre-qualified. So if you're looking to take advantage of what's going to happen, in the fall of 2021, maybe even the winter, take advantage of that, guys. Make sure you guys are out there, doing your searches, and make sure you guys are getting prepared for what the opportunities are to come.
Yeah, and one last thing here before we let you go. It's very important to have an agent, a very good agent, even when you're buying a new home. Don't just walk into the model home center and be like, hey, I need to buy a house. There are things that agents, very experienced agents, can negotiate, things like concessions, upgrades, design center things, credits to actually get you a nice home, a nicer home than you would have been able to negotiate on your own.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Carl, because that's so true. We've had so many clients, we've worked with on my team, and obviously through my personal experience, that we've been able to create a better experience for them in overall transaction, making sure that things are smooth, going with them through inspections, having some of our own third-party guys go in there and do inspections for them just to make sure the house is buttoned up and dialed in, just the way that they want it, especially when they get their keys. So
yes, absolutely.
Until next time, guys, make sure to tune in to the Inside View Real Estate podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. We love you. Thank you.